Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A, where we go over all latest news that happened during the week of mobile and answer your questions live. If you have any questions you want to ask, just ask them in the comment section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. Now, we did have a heck of a lot of news, but I could not get around the main story. So I thought I was thinking about originally doing a separate video on it, but I think it just makes a good, nice short first 3 minutes or so of Mobile Weekly. So let's get into it. Fortnite, or rather Epic, versus both Apple and Google. And I put it as the title, and it definitely is true. Apple does have a monopoly on the App Store. It's designed to. That's the entire way it was designed to be. So let's go over this. So basically, for those of you who haven't seen it or haven't caught up on it or anything like that, Epic basically had these two lawsuits planned to call out both Apple and Google as a monopoly. Now, with Apple, it's pretty much an open and shut case in my opinion. They do have a monopoly on their App Store. If you want to have an app on iOS, the only way to put it on there is in fact with the ability to go through their App Store. On Android, it's a bit different because it's an open platform. You can still download apps via directly through a website with an APK file, like you can with Fortnite. You can download it through a third-party app store, such as the Galaxy App Store, such as the Huawei App Store, such as all these other ones. It's very simple and easy. So that is what Android has that iOS doesn't. Now, the reason why Epic did this was because they are saying that 30% cut is just not fair, basically. It really is something that I would agree that 30% is a lot more than pretty much any other industry. Say Epic themselves has a gaming store online where they host and sell other people's games, and they charge, I think, a 15% or a 10% of that. 10 and 15 is more the standard of this realm, basically. Basically, when you have a platform, a digital platform that you are allowing people to download stuff from, 10 to 15 is typically the average. I would love to see even 20. Apple should at least kind of bend to the will of the masses in this case, because this is only going to get worse for them, and that is, it's more ideal for them to do this. Now, Spotify has claimed this, as Apple favors, say, Apple Music over their own, over Spotify. Even if Spotify was much bigger, they basically made it so that Apple Music would be the default for everything, and that basically all of their expanded universe, like iCarPlay and everything like that, and their HomePod, everything first worked with Apple Music, and eventually they would get to other third-party music makers like Spotify. And this was continuing on through other ones. Just recently, they made a big enemy in gamers for denying all gaming platform services, such as Xbox xCloud, as well as Google Stadia. They are basically claiming something that has no ground to stand on. And I said it, what was it, 2 weeks or so when those hearings were going on and everyone asked me about it? I said this would be Apple's big down point later, because they have no leg to stand on with this. And that is that they are treating essentially this service worse than others. So basically they are treating the service of xCloud, saying, oh, well, we can't check all of the games. You don't check all of Netflix's movies. You don't check any streaming services, movies, and videos. The real reason you don't want it is because you have your own gaming service that you're trying to push. And again, that is a monopoly. The last part about this is that Epic has another big counterpoint in terms of Apple has made exceptions to certain developers, albeit Amazon. Amazon doesn't get the 30% cut taken like the other manufacturers do, or sorry, like the other developers do. If you buy something on Amazon, you do not get 30% taken from there. And this is a lot bigger than most people think, even more than I thought. Apparently, I think it was on Austin Evans' video. Ken made it a point that he said he researched it, and he had found that, say, if you guys did a super chat donation, right? If you guys did a super chat donation on an iPhone, apparently, even though, so say it's told me that you gave me 10 bucks. Apparently out of that 10 bucks, and I never really look into the back end, I guess, on this. I've never really thought about it, but apparently out of that 10 bucks, I would only get 7 if you gave it from an iPhone, because Apple takes a cut of anything you're doing from their iPhone towards that. That is pretty crazy to me. Like, that's just like, what, really? So I for those kind of things, it shouldn't matter where you pay or buy, but apparently with Apple, they have really strict rules that makes it so it does. And again, Apple basically, they want to change their percentage, because the other option is far, far worse. The other option is that regulation could make it so that Apple has to have third-party apps be able to sideload, and Apple will never want to do that. They will never want to do that. It would mess with their integrity. They would lose out on so much more money, because they would go from having 30% to 0%. So overall, Apple should meet developers in the middle and let this little thing go away, essentially, because they are in a losing battle with this. That 20% should be the new norm, maybe, for them, if they don't want to go down to 15. And I think all parties would kind of be okay with that. We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, that's the main thing from it. Now with Google, I feel that Epic has less of a leg to stand on. Again, because of what I said earlier, you can sideload Fortnite right into it and it's no problem. However, apparently what they are saying is that with OnePlus and LG, they wanted to have it preloaded into those phones. But but Google blocked it somehow, basically told OnePlus, hey, LG, hey, you do not install this pre-installed. And that is very shady. So again, I do believe that, again, Google maybe could Google has more of a leg to stand on, because again, you can sideload their apps. Because you can sideload their app, it's far harder to call them a monopoly when it comes to their store, because you can get their apps, you can get apps that work on Android from pretty much anywhere. They might not be safe, but you can get them. But this is really what hurts them. Apparently, to get the 90 Hz refresh rate version of Fortnite to work, they needed to also go to the Play Store. Fortnite has only been in the Google Play Store for less than a year, and the reason why they did it apparently was to get the higher refresh rate working. Sorry, I know we have a little lag. I guess my computer is really working hard. But yeah, but that was a big deal overall. So that was something that was just like, wow, like how can they, why would they do that? And I obviously I get why, but that's the big thing of kind of this whole thing happening. Again, I think if they would go down to, again, I think if both parties would go down to 20%, I think this whole thing can go away. But the 30% does hurt a lot. And really, Epic is on the right side in this. Now, they have had their own shady things. They've done their own shady stuff. They're not a saint company by any means. Also, if Epic would keep trying this sideloading kind of stuff after they go down, that is not okay, and they shouldn't be allowed on the store. But I will say that already Epic has announced their next big thing kind of thing. And that is basically they have a new update coming up in November. And this update will introduce the Joker, Poison Ivy, and others. And the whole idea behind that is you don't get this update unless you have the latest version of Fortnite on your phone. For iPhones, you cannot update your software anymore. So for iPhone users, you will not get this unless this lawsuit is taken care of. For Android users, if you sideloaded it or if you installed it from a Samsung Galaxy store or anything like that, you are fine. But unless you do that, you do not get it. So just wanted to make that perfectly clear, just so it would make sense. If you guys have any more questions about this issue, I can go into it in further detail, but I thought this would be at least, the best of it kind of thing. Wanted to give a shout out to the super chat donations. John Krupp, sorry, Apple, Greedy Apple, and then another super chat donation, Google, Greedy Google. Yes, that is what happened for sure. And Rudy, thank you as well for doing that. And again, that's a whole explanation on it for sure. So again, if you guys have any more questions about it, let me know. But that is everything that is going on with this situation. To me, Apple cannot win this. They cannot. Again, especially because of the xCloud issue with Netflix on their platform, it clearly shows favoritism against gaming. And that is really what they have been doing. They do not favor gaming as much as they do movies, but it's the same principle in terms of a streaming service. Samsung launches the ultimate private mode. So I label this as cheat mode because when I first introduced Samsung, what did they call it? At first they called it like secure folder, and now it's just secure side or something like that on Samsung phones. It's on most of my hidden feature videos, but they have done a even bigger version of this called Alt Z Live. Alt Z Life. And it has launched in India with the Galaxy A51 and A71. And what this effectively does is it completely separates two phones, even more so. And it really makes it so like you can double click to switch between your regular gallery and your secret gallery. And it really is just very interesting. It will even suggest using AI technology. I'm guessing you want to hide this photo. What AI they're using for that, what photo it would auto suggest you hide, I'm gonna leave up to your imagination. I can tell you they did approach about Rigsby, but I said Rigsby is not going to be a part of it. So just so you know. But yeah, it is pretty interesting. I'm very curious if we will get this in the US, but this is active in India on the A51 and AZ, and the A71. So yes, this is a thing that has gone down. And if you want to be more private, you want to hide more things without anyone else knowing, Samsung has your back. Now everyone that has a Samsung is going to have to explain things to their partner like, no, I don't have that. Don't have secure folder. Don't have any of this stuff. I don't know what YouTube Tech Guy is talking about. Don't look at that. But yeah. All right. Samsung has reportedly decided they are going to drop a feature on the S21 or S30, whatever they decide to call it. And that is the time of flight sensor. Basically, it is not as good as the LiDAR sensor that Apple has come out with on the iPad and what is expected to come out with on their next iPhone. So if it is going to be coming out with that, basically what they're doing is they are going to make a new kind of time of flight sensor that is similar to this style. They're going to make it themselves. The one who makes this one is Sony, and Samsung feels they can actually make a better version of this technology, which is interesting to see how it'll go. So we'll definitely have to wait and see how that goes. but definitely interested to see where it'll go down the line with this. But yes, it looks like it will not be on the S21, and they are hoping to get this new sensor in for the Note series on the half of next year. So this would be on the Note 21 or Note 30, whichever way they go. All right, and then we have release dates for the Samsung Z Fold 2. So here's the thing. I really hate that name too. It just should be called the Galaxy Fold 2. It just, forget all these other things. But here it is. So the Galaxy Fold 2 is supposed to come out. It's going to be announced, or sorry, the announcement will be on September 1st. My birthday. Samsung wanted to coordinate it with me. I completely understand. It's fine, Samsung. I appreciate it. I will also get to pre-order it that day, because if you have reserved your phone, you will be able to pre-order it that day. If you did not reserve the Fold 2, then you will get to pre-order it September 2nd. So that is going to be the announcement and pre-order date. Then what they're going to do is on the September 18th is supposed to be the expected launch date. So it's pretty, I would say that's pretty accurate for the most part, because we have it being the basically 2 weeks and essentially after that Friday. So the 4th is that Friday, 18th it would come out. So kind of similar launch that we have gotten for the Note, and similar for what Samsung usually does. So yeah, the Galaxy Fold 2 will be announced officially on the 1st in terms of pricing and everything else. Also full specs, we still have not gotten full specs on this device. And it will be also released on September 18th. You will get to pre-order on the 2nd. If you did reserve it already, you should be able to pre-order on the 1st. So yeah. All right, and then we have this new chip and memory leak seemingly confirming the Pixel 5. So that's pretty cool. It looks like we are going to get the 765 series. So 765 is going to be the model number. That will mean that it'll have the 700 series of 5G. And I think it was to be expected that that's what we would get. It also does verify the 8 gigs of RAM, which I am fine with. Do I wish we got a little bit more? Sure, but I'm fine with 8 gigs of RAM overall. It would have been better with 10 or 12, but again, 8 gigs of RAM with that chipset I think is perfectly fine. Let me know what you guys think. Is this what you're kind of expecting to get on the Pixel 5? I'm just hoping the display is indeed bigger than the 5.8, which is the rumor that we heard last week. I think the rumor was 6.67, but I did definitely have that in last week's. Okay, and then we had this leak. I've been saying this for about 1.5 years now that Apple would eventually do this, and that is bundle all of their services. So there will be different tiers, but basically this will be an announcement that Apple announces with their next iPhone. So basically they're going to give you Apple Music, they're going to give you, what do they have? Apple Plus, Apple TV Plus, and then what other services does Apple have? I don't use their services, so I don't know. But they'll have like all of their services, streaming services in one. Their arcade too. So they'll have all of those, and then they're going to have a separate one which also gives you storage as well. All of these will be bundled at a discounted price, but there will be different tiers throughout it as well. So yes, that is what's going to happen. I've been expecting this again, just because it makes sense for Apple to do it. They can get more probably that way. So let me know what you guys think about that. And then finally, this goes to the streaming services again. And HBO Max is not having a good time. Neither is Peacock. Both of those streaming services are not doing fairly well at all. HBO Max is going to strengthen their base by getting rid of DC Universe and putting all of that. So DC Universe had like a lot of cartoons, like all the animated series from the 90s, as well as things like Doom Patrol, the Harley Quinn show. So a couple of things like that are going to be migrating over to HBO Max to help strengthen it, because it's not doing that well, unfortunately. So that is something that's going to go away, and I think it's pretty much needed at this point, because HBO Max needs something. What they really need is they need to be able to be on Roku and Apple and Amazon Fire Stick. The fact that they haven't been able to do that, it really has cost them a lot. Both services, Peacock and HBO Max, have not done that, and that is why both are failing right now. All right, guys, that was all the news for today. If you have any questions, start asking them in the comment section down below, and I will answer them before the end of the show. Okay. Ooh, top 3 phones of 2020 so far are... Pixel 4a, iPhone SE, and of the flagships, looking at all of them right now, I'd have to go with the S21. I mean, the Note 20 Ultra should take over that. The S20 Ultra does not get in there because of its focus issues. I don't know if they fixed them all, but I gave it a good 2 weeks and I returned mine for the S21 Plus, or sorry, S20 Plus. Definitely don't have next year's model already. But no, so that is the difference. But yeah, those I would say are the top 3 for the year so far. The budget phones really just came with it this year and have made such a big impact. And I only see that getting better and better as it goes along. Is it worth it to upgrade to the Galaxy Watch, or from the Gear Watch 3 to the Galaxy Watch? You mean the original Galaxy Watch or the new one? Or do you mean the Galaxy Watch 3? Because the thing about the Galaxy Watch, the original one that I have here, it has still the best battery life out of any non, like, you know, e-ink display backlit kind of out of any of the Android watches. This one has the best battery life. You get 4 days with the always on display mode off, or 3 days with it on. Now, I will say it's gone down a little bit. I would say now I get 2 days with the always on display on, or 3 days with the always on display mode off. So it has gone down about a full day since I bought it, but I did buy it, 2 years ago? So, I mean, not too bad in that aspect, or at least a year and a half. It's been a while. But the battery life is also why I prefer this one still over my Active 2, which I still have, but I never really rock it. And a lot of the reason is just because of the, well, one, it got scratched, which was annoying because I've never scratched a smartwatch. This was the first one I scratched, and it was because it just has no protection in the front. So I got a screen protector, but it's always been plastic. I haven't been able to find a glass one. I think it's because of the rotating bezel. You can't find a glass one, but that battery life was so much less. It was basically charging it every night, which I hear is like the Watch 3. The Watch 3, basically, if you have your always on display, you're charging it every night. If you don't have your always on display, you're doing every 2 nights. So it's basically, again, 1 day less than my original watch currently is. At launch, it's 2 days less. So that's a big deal for me, and it's why I don't really recommend the Galaxy Watch 3 if you have a Galaxy Watch. I think if you have a Watch Active 2, it's going to be an upgrade, but it's also a different style, so you have to see if you like that style or not. In terms of the Gear S3, which I'm guessing you said the Gear Watch 3. So if you're talking about the Gear S3, that one is again, you're getting a bigger battery life with the Galaxy Watch. If you're talking about if you're going from the Galaxy Watch to the Galaxy Watch 3, now that it's a downgrade in battery, an upgrade in software, but the new sensors, the ECG and the I think it was the oxygen level, are not available in the US. So these are two new sensors that could come down the line, but are currently not available. I would get it if it had those working. Since it doesn't, I don't know. The cool part is Samsung gives you about $100, I believe, with the Galaxy Watch if you trade it in. So that is a nice thing that they added this year, is watch and tablet trade-ins that they didn't have in years. Or tablet trade-ins they started last time around, but watch and earbud trade-ins they didn't have, and now they have those both. I'm loving my Samsung Watch 3 very much. I will say it looks absolutely beautiful. Like I have seen photos of it, and my friend who's getting the titanium, he's waiting for the titanium one, which was going to launch in September. It looks so good. It really does. I'm not gonna. I can't justify it. I just like, if it had those two new sensors, I would, but I don't know. It's just not for me right now. $450 trade-in for my Tab S6 towards Tab S7 Plus. Very happy. So am I. I saw that too. You can reserve the Tab S7 and Tab S7 Plus. They are $649 and $849 respectively. So you definitely are paying more for the Plus, but I am very happy about it. So I can't wait to get that tablet. I really am excited for it. So very, just can't wait for it for sure. Where you can do that directly through Samsung. You can now reserve the tablet. That is not pre-ordering it, that's just reserving it. My guess is you'll be able to buy it probably tomorrow, I'm guessing. You can reserve it as of Friday, I think it was, but you'll probably be able to buy it, pre-order it as of tomorrow, I'm guessing is when they're doing it, tomorrow or the 18th. And then because it launches on the 21st. So on the 21st, you can just buy it. So we'll have to wait and see how they roll it out, but I can't wait to get mine. What color did you pre-order for the Tab S7 Plus? I ended up going to just with the black color. I was going between the white and even the what's the color they have right now? Not bronze. Is it bronze? But yeah, I ended up going with the one I got, the gold. Instead of the gold or the bronze gold or the white, I ended up going with the black one on that one. I was leaning towards that, like, or not white, but silver for a little while. But I just decided, no, I'll just keep it black because the case is going to be black. Let's see. How does Google manage to produce such a good picture with less camera and less megapixels? It's their software. Basically, all they do is they do really good image processors. So it's just basically processing the image better. And basically, that's what they started doing. They have a separate image processor on there. And then it's just AI. And who's better at AI than Google? I mean, they do it very well. And yeah, that's it. It's the image processor, which is a hardware. And then it's their AI software that just does a much better job at processing everything in the image than anyone else does. I really, really wonder if Google would ever give that software up. Like if they would allow people to license it, like other manufacturers. Can you imagine if all gaming phones had a Google camera? Like, because gaming phones just suck at a camera, but they're better in almost every other way. So that would be something that I'm like, really, wow. What is the best screen protector for $10 to under $30? I will say that I don't have much experience in that. The main screen protectors, everyone knows the main screen protector I get because I do it every time a new phone comes out, and they last on my phone the entire time. A quick picture of my son. But yeah, they last on my phone the entire time, and that is I always get the Whitestone dome glass, and this screen protector just I never have any issues with it. It allows me to use my fingerprint scanner with the Samsung phone, which not all of them can. So these are the main ones I get. I have purchased plenty of cheapo screen protectors for a phone that, not that I don't care as much about, but that they might not make a high quality screen protector for. So I just kind of funnel around. So I just got one for my 4A. I'll let you know if that one works well. I'll post a picture on Twitter and Instagram after I install it. But other than that, one that I have to say has been pretty decent. I had on my iPhone throughout the entire year before I sold it was the Elixir, and that one was like I think $15. So that one was pretty decent. If you know me, you know I don't use the iPhone often, but it lasted throughout the entire year almost. I sold it in July. So, I mean, that was from September to July. It stayed on there. It didn't have any issues. It was at the very end of July, right before selling it, I ended up taking it off because it had a little bit of a bubble on the side that it did not have throughout the entire time until the end. So, I mean, I think if a screen protector can last almost an entire year, basically 9 months, for $15, I think that's pretty good. So, yeah. That's the Elixir. I got it from the website that always sends me lots of cases, and that is Mobile Fun. Do you think if the Epic lawsuit is a win, it could lead to iOS being held at the same litigation as other hardware manufacturers could make iOS devices? It is a possibility. With lawmakers, can they do that to Apple? Yes, they can. They absolutely can. Can Apple still kind of allow other makers to make it and then severely throttle them? Yes, they can. So yeah, it's a very tricky situation, but yes, is that a possibility? Yes. Is it likely? No. Apple would give in to a lot of other things before they would let that happen. Whoa, I knew YouTube took a cut from Super Chat, but iPhone? Shake my head. Yep, apparently. Now, I've not looked into that, but that's apparently the thing. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. Everybody drink. Is the S21 going to have the hole punch or under display camera? That's a very good question. And Samsung is trying to figure that out right now. Samsung is totally trying to figure that out right now. They'll probably have the answer by November. So it's not something that is figured out yet. Here's the thing. Was the S21 supposed to be the first phone with a camera under the display? Yes. Yes, it was. It was supposed to be the very first phone from Samsung on a flagship that had it. Were they probably going to have it with an A series? Possibly. They were thinking about doing that. This year happened. That has caused a lot of issues. Like a lot of issues. We're just finding out right now. I didn't put an article about it because I only read the first paragraph of the article. But Acer apparently isn't going to be able to make enough laptops this year because of the pandemic. So, and they're a Taiwanese company, but I don't know if they manufacture in China, so I'm not sure the situation. But that was really interesting to me because, of course, with schools, again, we're not trying to get into politics, I'm just explaining what's going on. With schools needing students to have more computers, because they're, going to be doing it from home. Like my daughter is doing it from home. She's using her Chromebook, all that kind of stuff. But basically, students need to have laptops right now. And Acer is a great choice because it's so cheap. Or inexpensive. But I think it's more cheap. But they're not going to be able to make enough. They don't have the capacity to right now. So that's a very interesting turn of events. So yeah, things are, manufacturing has changed as well. Let's see. The computer is trying to handle all of the news. Yeah, no, sorry. I now normally I now restart my laptop before, and then I don't get any of these like weird CPU throttles. But I didn't today, and that's why I think we're getting the like my CPU suddenly goes from 40% right now, then it goes all the way to 100% for some reason, and I haven't changed anything. I'm not launching anything else, but yeah. Rigsby will not entertain this Alt-Z life. Exactly. Do you think that we'll get any perks when pre-ordering the Z Fold 2? Even the Samsung Care Plus for a year or would be great. That would be great. I think we'll get the Buds for free. I think we'll get the Buds Plus for free, but who knows? We'll see. Should I trade in my S20 Plus for the Note Ultra? I am, right? I am. So I say that first. I am doing that. I'm trading in my S20 Plus. Actually, I'm not, because Samsung isn't giving me enough money for the S20 Plus. So what I'm actually doing is my wife has a Note 10, I think, same trade-in value, $650 that I would get for the S20 Plus, which is ridiculous. So I'm giving her my S20 Plus and trading in the Note 10, which should be a lesser value, but isn't. So I'm trading in the Note 10 for that, and then upgrading my wife's phone. She's going from a Note 10 to an S20 Plus. Good upgrade all around. She doesn't use the phone she doesn't use the pen as much as I do anymore, so she's fine. But for me, I am doing it. Would I recommend anyone else doing that upgrade? I did like the bokeh effect that I had on the Ultra. I did like the zoom that I had on the Ultra. The zoom on the S20 Plus isn't good in my opinion, rather than any other phone I've had for the past 3 years. So if you want those two things, and if you want a Note with an S Pen, like I really miss my S Pen, then maybe it's worth it. If not, then it's not. So I don't think it's worth it otherwise, if those aren't the things you're looking for, because the other upgrades aren't enough. Even doesn't have 256 gigs starting off, which it should have, but it doesn't. Do you think Google Duo will go away? How would that work with Just Meet? I'm not going to answer that question, because if you saw my Twitter post, I specifically said, well, I hope it was my first tech rant in a while. And you guys really came through for that tech rant. I got a lot of views for that tech rant, so thank you for that. I guess I should do more tech rants. Apparently you guys like them. But you know, I did that tech rant on the Microsoft Duo, and I was like, man, I hope I don't have to do another tech rant for a little while. I don't even know what I would do it about. And then Google, the rumor mill flies with Google might replace Google Meet and get rid of Google Duo. Again, there will be a tech rant, because that stupidity. By the way, I never used Google Meet. Never used it, because quite frankly, it was something that was designed for workers and meetings and groups like that. And it suddenly became a competitor to Zoom. It is nothing compared to Duo. It is such a stripped down version of Duo. Duo is better in every way, except for like meetings. I'm gonna have a tech rant about it. I'm gonna have a tech rant about it. Just stay tuned, subscribe. That will go down. That will go down. All right. Yeah, why the Z instead of the flip is the Z shape? Yes, that makes more sense. The Z doesn't make sense for the fold. I don't know why. Shortcuts app on the watch OS 7 is making it very interesting. Shortcuts app on watch OS 7. Oh, interesting, on Apple Watch. I'm reading something about the possibility of Google doing it. Again, there will be a tech rant. A51 or Xiaomi Note 9S. What do you think I should buy? Really like those two phones, but hesitant on which one to buy. I will say I checked out the Xiaomi Redmi Note 9 recently. A friend even asked me if I could root it, but it was very complicated to root. Xiaomi phones are really complicated to root. You have to wait a week just to unlock the bootloader. But yeah, so for me, after using it in that instance, and that was the Note 9 Pro, so not the Note 9S, but I hate the AI. I hate the AI in that phone. It holds it so much back. And so because routing is so complicated, you can't even get like there are ones that have gotten stock Android on it, but it seems like just really annoying. So overall, I would say the Samsung A51 is the better one in my opinion, just because the software is so much better. I understand the hardware on the Note 9S is probably way better, but I wouldn't just because of that software. It was horrible to me. What do you think about the Inspire E60 wireless headphones? I've never heard of them. Never heard of them. They look like another set of true wireless headphones. For $50, I wouldn't expect much. To be quite honest, I'd probably go like the ones I usually recommend for under $100 are the Creative. So Creative X. Oh god, Outlier. Those are $78, so a little bit more. I also have the ones I always use at work, which are the Soundcore, the Anchor Soundcore. Now, which Soundcore is it? I think it's the Liberty 2 Air. No, Liberty 2 Pro. Those are more. So those are more. So yeah, I would say probably for under $100, I would recommend the Creative Outlier Gold, and those are what was it? What did I say? $78. Those are the ones that I really thought were amazing, and not only is the quality amazing, like the sound quality is freaking amazing, and it has more of. It not only has the aptX codec, but it also has the ACC codec, and the battery life is just ridiculous. It's 14 hours per charge, which I can tell you from my experience, I got over 10. I just posted it in the chat. Let's see. The S34 Quantum is equipped with Rigsby OS and has the best edition of 51st Day Questions. Yeah, I'll do an early plug-in for 51st Day Questions, sure. Thank you for reminding me, as always, Quiet Storm. 51st Day Questions is an app that I created. It's just a fun, simple app to do on a date, whether it be a first date or a date with your significant other that you've been with for many years. It's It's a great game, 50 first date questions. It's just a really fun and interesting icebreaker on a first date. But I will say that having played it with my wife a couple of years ago again, it was funny to see how our answers had changed from when we first met. So yeah, 50 first date questions, links in the description down below for iOS and Android. I just barely squeezed by 2 days on my Galaxy Watch 3. I can pretty standardly get 2 days, but yeah, it depends on how you use it too, I guess. The only thing I like of the health feature, I got my Galaxy Watch not too long ago, so the $600 price tag seems too enticing to upgrade. I still have my Gear S3, still get about a day and a half. Not bad for a watch that's 4 years old, definitely. I agree with you that Apple lawsuit. Apple doesn't check Spotify for each song and podcast. Makes sense. Yeah, definitely. I normally buy the notes for the S Pen, but I'm thinking about trading my S10 Plus for the S20 Plus and trading in my Tab S6 for the Tab S7 Plus. Or should I wait till the S series phones in the fall? I mean, it's up to you. If you want to get the latest and greatest for right now, I mean, $650 for the Note 10 Plus is a really good deal right now. As I think that would probably be a little bit more or about the same you would get if you would sell it like on Swappa or Gazelle or eBay. So I think it's a good price for the Note 10 Plus trade-in. And then, you know, you could always trade in the S20 Plus next year at this time for a new Note. So yeah, and it'll have a higher value. You get 100 trade-in with the Gear S3 as well on Samsung's website. I'm just concerned about the battery life on the Galaxy Watch 3. I would say it should be comparable. The Galaxy Watch 3 should have a comparable battery life to the Gear S3, in my opinion. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions loaded. Everybody drink. They capture a lot of photos and put them together. That's why they all do. But Google is among the best. I would say it's pretty much the best. I mean, when it comes to HDR Plus specifically, it looks photo ready, as in like you can post it. You don't have to edit it. You don't have to fine tune it. It's really, people can't believe when I take photos with the Pixel 4a because it's such a cheap phone, but the photo quality is so dang good. Like, I always say this, I said it to a friend the other day when we were talking about all these phones, and you know, he was saying like, but the versatility of the wide angle on like the A series phones from Samsung make it the one I would go for. And I was like, I understand that, but at the same time, here's the thing about the Pixel. I can take a better photo with the Samsung. I can take a better photo with an iPhone than the Pixel. But if I were to give a phone for someone else to take a photo, the foolproof one every time is the Pixel. I can give anyone a Pixel camera and it will take a better photo with that camera than if I gave them my Samsung, than if I gave them my iPhone. The Pixel will always do a better photo. It's not only like idiot proof in that sense, but it's just like a point shoot good. Like, you don't have to worry about it as much, and that's what's really good about it. And not to mention, your editing can go pretty far on that phone too. People are still in, I love the MST, people are still in shock when I use it in stores. Sir, it doesn't work here. I'm sure it doesn't, just watch. Yeah, but it's always funny, for sure. How much is I like the Whitestone Dome Glass? I tried it with my Note 10 Plus. Never got it to work. $60 down the drain, sadly. If you don't ever get it to work, return it. I mean, I would, absolutely. I return stuff on Amazon all the time. I didn't for a lot of years, and then I realized, like, especially, I don't know if you have a Kohl's by you, but you can return stuff to Kohl's from Amazon. you don't have to have the box. And I say this like they have put stuff in a trash bag because people didn't have the boxes. And they just put all of it in a trash bag, put the label on it, and the person got a refund. Like, it is amazing the stuff you can return on Amazon. And I never thought of it till I was seeing that, and I was like, oh, I should definitely be returning more stuff. Like, right, I got a white stone dome glass for my wife on her Note 10. My son was playing with it, cracked it. So he cracked the dome glass. So I bought her a new one. I was going to install it. Then this trade-in situation happened, so I'm going to give her my Note S20. So I was just like, oh, I have to return that dome glass. So I'm going to return that next week, just because obviously I don't need it now. So simple and easy. Will the magnetic on the case of the tablet have any effect on the tablet's performance? No. The Tab S6 had a magnet on the back of it and had no issues with the performance. Get 4 days on my Galaxy Watch Active 2 connected to my Note 9 in this use case. 4 days? I don't get anywhere near that on my Active 2. Like, anywhere near that. I've never gotten anywhere near that. That's crazy. Man. I'm going to try updating it tonight and using it tomorrow. That's very interesting. Only old people and nerds have Androids. That is a very small-minded view, especially when more people have Android than iPhones anywhere in the world. Like, around the world, Apple is only about, what, 30%? I think, if even that, in terms of the smartphone market. But good job thinking about locally in the U.S., because that's the only country where iPhones dominate. The only country. You don't seem too interested in the Note 20 Ultra as you were in the Note 10 Plus. Why would you say that is? I think I wanted more. It really wasn't that much of a difference from the S20 Ultra. And I felt like the Note 10 Plus was a little bit more. Those Bluetooth features and just all these different things with the S Pen. I just felt it was a bit more. Overall, though, I will say that it was a bigger battery life, too. This one was a downgraded battery life compared to the S20 Ultra. But yeah, for me, I really, really I think I'm moving on to the Fold. Like, I want something new and exciting, and I love the Note, and I love the S Pen. I wish so bad that the Fold had gotten the S Pen. If the Fold had gotten the S Pen, I wouldn't have looked at the Note Ultra. But yeah, I'm hoping to get the Fold 2, but I know it's not a guarantee. I know it's a possibility only. So yeah, in the end of the day, if I get the Fold 2, I'll probably return or sell the Note 20 Ultra at this point, is what I'm thinking. But we'll see. Okay. Let's see. Do you think Samsung will ditch Bixby for the Google Assistant? I hope so. I hope we see that next year in the S21. That would be a huge upgrade for sure. I'm trading in. Got 650 for my Note 10 Plus. Rakunten. I always forget how to say that name. Had 10%, so got another $65 back. Nice. And use $9 in Samsung points. That's the way to do it. Good job, JR. That's awesome. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions loaded. Everybody drink. With age come wisdom. Nerds run all things you don't see, so I'm good. Yeah, true. Oh. I've been riding strong on Samsung trade-in since the Note 7 debacle. Get 400 for an old iPhone 5 was great. Yeah, for sure. I've done the trade-in every time now. Just got an update to Duo has been integrated with Samsung Messages for a while now, but now have sync calling on the Active 2. Interesting. Yeah, I have not updated my Active 2. I literally have it charging right now, so I'm gonna test it out tomorrow. I have not used it in probably at least 2 to 3 months, probably. I'm hoping Samsung will get rid of Bixby for the Google Assistant. Bixby was one of the worst mistakes by Samsung. No, the worst mistake by Samsung was S Voice. That was bad. That make Bixby look good. For those who have not hit the like, oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, most old people actually use iPhones instead of Android. That is true, actually. Bixby watch on the Active 2, Gear S3 Frontier, and great for Samsung TV. Change channel, channel commands. Bixby good, not bad. Yeah, I haven't done that actually. I haven't connected my watch to the TV. I have my phone connected to the TV, but never my watch. It is better to put a password on your Samsung phone to lock it. And what is the best process? Is it necessary? Thank you. I mean, putting a password on your phone is always up to you. I don't usually have a password on my phone. I just do it to demo things. So I usually never have I usually never put a password on my phone. I just don't need to. I don't know. I've never really needed to. But at the same time, I do have one that's like, you know, like if it's 30 minutes or longer, then it will do it kind of thing. But here's my thing with passwords on a phone. I think if you feel more secure, put one on. That's just good. But definitely know how to wipe your phone if someone would steal it. So the reason I don't worry about my phone as much is because everything on my phone is backed up pretty much on a weekly basis. So that being said, I have that part backed up, right? Then I also have so many other phones. So I have backup on backup, right? Like I have physical backup. So like, oh, this phone was stolen. That's okay because I have it back. I have all the photos, text messages, everything backed up on this phone. So, you know, it's just kind of like I have backup on backups. But I also know how to wipe my phone. So if it gets stolen and I don't want anyone having access to it, I can lock it immediately. And even if they know how to get past that, I will then wipe it. So I know how to do that stuff. So that's why I don't put a password on my phone, because I don't have a worry of that, I guess. And I don't have anything to hide from my family or anything like that. Hi Bixby, adjust the, oh sorry, sorry, I don't mean to set up anyone's stuff. Adjust the volume to 15 is great. Bixby changed the TV channel 21. Again, Active 2 and Frontier 3. That is a pretty cool feature. I've never really used Bixby for those reasons. I don't know, I just changed it with my remote instead. I have never needed to, I guess. I'm going to wait for the next stimulus check to pay cash for the Note 20 Ultra. Thanks, Rick. That's a good way to use the check. Just make sure to save some. Wouldn't it be something if Samsung opened the video calling feature on all Samsung across the network instead of being able to use it with people on the same carrier? It's not really Samsung that's deciding that factor, it's carriers. Unfortunately, carriers are given too much power in my opinion, and Samsung is one that still allows carriers to do that, whereas Apple just says, F you, we're doing our own thing. I think Samsung should take that way, and I think they're big enough to actually as well. Wasn't an Amazon purchase sadly, Amazon does not have amazing return policy though. Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, again, I mean, I haven't had an issue with their return policy. I've returned stuff, but again, I think because I return tech accessories and baby stuff, which baby stuff, man, you can return it months later. So yeah, I guess I've never had a problem with that. I guess Weinstein doesn't prepare for app-proof screen protector. Yeah, not yet. I'm so disappointed with this year's Note. Hopefully Samsung will bring it next year. I hope so. I think Samsung's going to bring it next year because their sales are really bad this year. So I think they realize like, oh dang, we have to bring it next year. Ricky, I have a pair of Samsung Icon X 2018, which I love. Do you know how to make them louder? No, I don't think there's any way. Just do the software updates, but there's no real way to make it louder. You can try adaptive sound on your Samsung phone if you go into settings and then sound. Samsung has a setting where you can fine tune it for those headphones, but that's about it. Ricky, do you know how I can improve the facial recognition on the Note 10 Plus? No, it's an iris scanner. It's not a facial recognition or was it facial recognition on the Note 10 Plus and then not on the Note 9? It's been so long. I think the Note 10 Plus still had the face scan and not the iris scan. The face scan for that is not good quality. It's just basically the generic face scan that Android has. So it's not the iris scanner that used to be, if I'm not mistaken. I have a smaller size Galaxy Watch and an Active 2, both LTE. I can get a max out of both 24 to 25 hours max with the Active 2, 24 small batteries. Got it. I worry with all the used password locked on phones. One thing that will allow you time to wipe if lost or stolen. Always back up though, for sure. Tab S7 Plus or Galaxy Book Flex. I mean, Galaxy Book Flex can do a lot more. It can do a lot more. Also, isn't that their QLED display, if I'm not mistaken? So, yeah, I mean, the Galaxy Book Flex, I would probably say is the better one because it has a QLED display, which I believe for electronics is better than OLED, actually. So, I would choose the Galaxy Book Flex between those two. And just, it's more of what you need, though. Do you need more of a laptop or do you need more of a tablet? Because that's going to be the bigger difference. The 7 Plus will have a longer battery life, but I mean, you could just do so much more with the Flex. So if I had to choose between those two, I would choose the Flex. I thought about getting the Flex instead of a tablet. I did, but ultimately I just wanted a tablet. I didn't know this before, but Microsoft associated with SwiftKey. Yeah, Microsoft bought SwiftKey like 3 years ago, I think. I remember I did a week when it happened. I definitely did it on a weekly, but that was a long time ago. Like I said, it was like probably 3 years ago. 13-inch Flex is $749 with the tab, $400 for the Tab S6 trade-in. Again, I would say that the Flex, you can do a lot more with it for sure. So if you don't have a PC or if you don't have a laptop, you should definitely get the Flex. If you do have a laptop and you just want more of an entertainment device, then maybe get the Tab S7 Plus. So yeah. All right, guys, we are starting to wrap up. It is about that time. So get in your last minute questions before I finish up. Flex or the Surface Pro 7? That really depends. So you're saying Costco has it on sale for $800 or $900 with a keyboard. So let me check what version that is. So Surface Pro 7 is a smaller display. Sorry, I have to sign in to see what the price is for this version. Oh, this is definitely not the one you were talking about because this one is like 1,399. You said they have one for 800 or 900? Okay, so here is one for $899. No, the Flex is way better. Right off the top, if I'm not mistaken, the Flex has 16 gigs of RAM instead of 8 gigs of RAM. And also has a bigger storage than 128, if I'm not mistaken. Samsung. Let me check the specs. On I hate the way Samsung's website's set up sometimes. It just takes forever to load things. It does all this stuff. Oh, wait, not the Book S, the Flex. Yeah, so the Flex gives you 512 storage and I'm not sure how much RAM off the top of my head, but yeah, no, the Flex is way better than the Surface for sure. Not to mention, I just think it's better overall in comparison to it, so yeah. Okay, in the meantime, it says Amazon returns are great with purchase for a screen protector wasn't through Amazon. Got it. Open eye detection on the Note 9 works great. Yeah, that one was really good. That one was the iris scanner. We all missed that this year. I was looking at the Flex 13.3 inch. I'm not sure if you're talking about the Alpha. That's a cheaper one. But even the Alpha is 256 gigs of storage with an i5 processor. If you want to get the higher one, that would be an i7 with the 512 storage. So regardless, I do believe that, yeah, the Samsung is better. And it has a QLED display, way better than the Microsoft display, like way better than the Surface display. So yeah, I think the Surface hasn't upgraded as well over the years. It's lighter, but I don't think it's as good quality. Okay, I have it right. Okay, got it. All right, guys, we will call that a night. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you can, drop a like before you leave. I would really appreciate it. Thank you, as always, so much for watching. We have plenty of videos coming this week, and hopefully we'll start our notes series. Thank you, as always, so much for watching, guys. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe up there. Make sure you follow us on social media right here. And of course, check out our latest video up there. And right down here, you're going to find the perfect video for you. Or at least that's what YouTube tells me.